Hey, how's it going, everybody? Tyler Walton from Tyler Walton Music here. And today we're going to be talking about my submission for the Spitfire Audio Selene Spitfire score competition. Not really a competition, it's just like a thing that they're doing on their social media pages in promotion for their brand new instrument library, Albion Solstice. It's a fantastic short film. It is short. It's only I think it's less than 2 minutes, but it's fantastic. Fantastically shot, fantastically acted, fantastically directed. The cinematography is great. The whole thing is just, you can make this into a full length movie, and you're gonna put my butt in the seat in the theater. So I was really excited to be able to have the opportunity to do my own interpretation of this short film. And if you want to do that, you can do that too. You just have to go to the link. I'm going to put it down below in the description box. And if you want to download it, you can just follow that link, go to that description box, and it'll be there. Or I'll just, we'll just do it that way. This is going to be a breakdown, so I'm not going to play the film. If you haven't seen the film, it's on my YouTube. Link will also be below. It's also on my Instagram. You can go there at Tyler Walton Music and you'll see it. If you have seen it already, I want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I got a lot of great feedback on it. It was received very well, and sincerely, it just makes my heart warm. So thank you so much. So let's get into this. I've got three sections I want to talk about: methodology, the instruments that I used within Solstice, and then production. So let's start with methodology. The approach that I took with this one was given to me by one Ludwig Forsell. He composed for Hideo Kojima at Koji Pro, Kojima Productions. He's now a freelancer. He's gone off and he's doing his own thing. He's a brilliant composer. He's worked on things such as Metal Gear Solid 5, the PT demo, and most recently the score for Death Stranding and the director's cut of Death Stranding, which is coming out in just a couple of months. That has me very excited. And he was on a podcast recently talking about Kojima Productions type stuff, and he was talking about this concept with the approach that he took to the score, and the concept was mood over melody. And that hit me like a sack of bricks. Why did it hit me like a sack of bricks, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. I have a very hard time with melody. Admittedly, it's something that I work on every single day. I can write a chord progression, I can get a mood going and all that stuff. But melody is always something that I struggle with, writing good, compelling melodies that don't get boring. And I always really try to focus on writing a strong melody and then building everything around that. So with this one, I said, forget that. Let's just do mood over melody. Focus on creating a vibe, create a mood, create a sound. Let's put the viewer in a place, and whatever happens, happens. And as a result, I wrote a pretty good melody, I like to think, without even thinking about it. Fancy that. So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about that with the instrumentation, because I really think Albion Solstice, this is my segue into chapter 2 or part 2, fire segue. The instrumentation in the library itself, Albion Solstice, really enables you to write excellent moods. The mood that I got with this one, I wasn't going for a full-on horror sound. I wasn't trying to scare anybody. I just wanted to kind of create a sense of just gentle uneasiness is kind of the thing in my head. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to make you look away. I'm just trying to provide just enough dissonance and just enough atmosphere to make it seem like there's just a little bit off. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Little subtle things. And this library is fantastic for that. And as we go later into the score at the back end, when the melody comes in, you can really see that the scope of it. We can do the really small, intimate, moody type stuff, and then we can blow it up, and you could do big scores with this. This is a super versatile library. In fact, just been playing with it with this score here. I'd rank it up there as my favorite alongside Albion 5 Tundra. And anyone who is familiar with my work and has been following me for any length of time knows I love me some Albion 5 Tundra. That's probably my all-time favorite instrument library. I use it on freaking everything. I would have used it on this, but I told myself only use Solstice, with the exception of 2 parts, and we're going to get into that right now with the instrumentation. Segue. So, really quick, let's talk about these 2 things that I did. One, I really like Albion 1's Easter Island percussion. I can't get away from it. I use it all the time. So I used a sub hit on this one just to provide for me a sub hit. Let me go ahead and solo that out. Yeah, that's a fantastic hit. And then over here, I use my voice, and it's really cringy, and I'm not going to turn the processing off because it's even cringier without the processing. But here you go. I mean, that's pretty cringy with the processing. And I played it again because I'm a masochist. So let's just talk about a few of the instruments or a few of the tracks that really, really excite me. Some of the sounds in here. Starting with this Shiver Evo. This is a guitar on their guitar section. And it's fantastic. I mean, I don't have an amp with me right now because I live in an apartment and I was getting noise complaints. An amp loud enough to do feedback. So being able to kind of do my own controlled feedback through this library is a godsend. So this is what it looks like. It's in the generators folder underneath the Albion Orchestra, the Solstice Orchestra. It's in the Evos, and they give you 5 Evos, and these things sound freaking fantastic. Some really cool sounds you can really manipulate there. This is what this sounds like. That's awesome. And I'm not using any reverb on that, surprisingly. It's all the channel EQ, and I kind of do this tiny high cut, just a tiny bit of cut here. And we're going to, really quick, one thing I want to do also is work the production talk in as I'm going. So that's what we're doing here. So I did like a tiny little high cut here, just to kind of take a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom. Then I boosted right around the 2K range. Just because I wanted to kind of pick up that frequency and really kind of bring out that it's not quite an overtone, but there's like a harmonic quality to feedback that shines when you kind of boost a little bit, whether this way or if you're using a guitar and you're using like an overdrive pedal or a tube screamer and you hold it against the speaker to kind of get that feedback going. There's like a harmonic frequency that kind of shines out, kind of brings it is pulled out of the feedback that in that manner. So I was trying to capture that kind of harmonic quality, and then I used a spreader because I wanted to kind of push the sounds to the sides to kind of give you that stereoscopic or that surround sound kind of feel. As you can see down here where my cursor is, I panned everything hard left and hard right to really fill that space out and put that feedback in both your ears, not in front of you, but to the side of you, to kind of put you almost in the middle. Like the idea in my mind is I want to sandwich you in this music. I want to put you inside of the score, not just have it right out in front of you. So moving on, the next thing I'm really a big fan of are these 2 tracks here. So both of these are strings. This is the bass. It's no rosin. So think similar to what the Albion 5 no rosin sound is, the bow going across the string, but there's no rosin on the bow. It's just like the dry bow. And that kind of also brings out some really cool harmonics. And then this one is an Evo. And if you're familiar with Spitfire Audio's Evos, you just hold them down and I mean, you could write a movie off of just these. Absolutely fantastic. So let's put these two together. And in this one, I wanted to create that dissonance and get you into that frame of mind. So here we go. So I soloed the basses here because I wanted to show off how the no rosin sounds really dry, but there's rebowing in there. It's not just one continuous infinite bow. There's rebowing, and that kind of provides a really cool texture of like it's not 100% on the click. It's not in time quantized. It's a very natural kind of feel, and even if it doesn't quite line up on the click with everything else, it adds to that gritty atmosphere that I'm trying to evoke here. Similarly, we got some cool plucks here, just some really just solid kind of off-kilter sounding plucks that I really enjoy. Just a good texture. That's from their drone grid. And then right here, I wanted to kind of create this really creepy sound that's really high pitched that can kind of shoot into your ears. When they cut in like the black and white footage that's really creepy, I wanted this to kind of sound. Let me do that. Very cool sound. I really like that. And that's in the cassette orchestra, which is like their synth engine. And I'm using the Visitor, and man, it's just such a great sound. Such a great sound. What else we have here? Okay, so let's move on to some quick production stuff here. Go ahead and unsolo that. So on these here, kind of kept these kind of the same. So with the no rosin, I did another EQ. So again, the EQ mindset for this is going to be subtractive. Let's kind of carve out some space. That way we can free up space elsewhere. And then let's do just tiny boosts. There are some big boosts in here, but for the most part, like as you can see, I did a pretty high cut here, or I cut this out pretty substantially. Tiny cut here, tiny boost here right before 300. And this is just to kind of put it in a pocket and then free up the high end. Because it's not occupying that space, so there's no need for it to be there, as you can see. You know, if it's not occupying up here, let's just get rid of it. I don't need it. Something else can use that space. But as you can see, I boosted here because this stuff wants to peak. Cool. Then I added a reverb, and this one I kind of tried. This EQ band isn't as flexible as the channel EQ band is, so I just kind of tried to emulate. It's not perfect, but it was just like a quick emulation of the EQ was, because I want that reverb to sit right in the pocket with that EQ, even with this little boost, just to kind of make it exist there. And I made it super wet and kind of spaced it out just a little bit just to add some space to it. Likewise on this one, just like with the feedback, I did a spreader because I want to capture you. I want to envelop you. Think of like this dissonance in this kind of unsettling strings as like a fog. I want to envelop you, or I want to envelop you in this fog. That's kind of like the idea I had in my head. You're lost in the woods, and there are these kind of pagan, ritualistic type figures, and I want to surround you in this atmospheric fog. That's kind of like the vibe I was going with. So let's move on to like the big like climactic piece here. I'm really proud of this section. Let me do this, and we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with this piano because I spent a ton of time on this piano. More cassette orchestra, but it's actually two instruments. I'm using the 9cm tack piano, and I'm also using third guitarist. These are presets in the cassette orchestra, and they kind of had a very Akira Yamaoka, Silent Hill kind of vibe to them, and that kind of interested me. Not because I want to go for that same vibe, but just because that sound is just so good. Anytime you hear Akira Yamaoka, and again, like anyone who knows me knows I'm such a fan. I have a video of him on my channel. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's a lot of fun to make, and it's a good one. So I kind of went with that sound and just kind of tried manipulating them. I put some gain, some tape saturation on here, and this one I kind of reverbed just a skosh, but the reverb wasn't applied post; it was applied in the VST. And then I also did something really sweet here. I did the channel EQ is pretty much tiny. I mean, this exists in a pretty broad space. As you can see, it's going all the way over here. But I really like that low frequency coming out of the piano on the low end. That kind of frequency. So I wanted to boost that just a little bit. And the high end is really pronounced on this. So just a tiny cut. Nothing too crazy. But I really wanted to boost that low end just to kind of bring out that kind of Silent Hill type sound. And then I used a Space Designer, which I never use. And I just took a preset out of this because I never used this. And it's called Castle Lobby. So check this out. Let's go off. Kind of hear the harmonic. There's like a feedback inspired overtone kind of existing within it. So yeah, there's that. And 1 second. Forgive me, my cat was trying to get in. We are back. Okay, now I wanted to pair this with a good groove. I was trying to think of a good groove to put this in. And I was struggling, and this is also in Solstice. It's from the Visitor folder. This groove is killer. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off all these plugins so you can hear it raw. It sounds phenomenal raw. And then this is with the post-production on it. I wanted to kind of give it that 808 style feel. Just something modernized, because I really feel like this is kind of like the footage is kind of like you have like this old world eldritch style visuals juxtaposed against the modernization of humanity with like the black and white footage. So I kind of wanted to put my own spin on it with like some 808 inspired sounds. And a hard compressor. This compressor took me forever to figure out. And here it is in post-production. Awesome. Now pair that with this piano. Now now we add in like the traditional instruments. We have the cellular choir here. Let's go like this. Unbelievable. I boosted the crap out of these ones because they were kind of getting lost in my mix. And that's entirely my fault. I kind of loaded this section up with a lot of stuff going on, so I boosted these folks, and then I put an exciter on it just to kind of add some more, like, it doesn't dry it out so much because I did put a reverb on it, but it makes it more crispy, as if that makes sense. It's kind of like the term I use in my head, like this preset here, add silver. It kind of just makes it sound crispier. And then just a reverb, a preset reverb, large ambience, and then I didn't do anything. I left it as is, just to kind of create some space to it. And then you can go ahead and patch that in with the piano, the groove. There are these guitar, mandolin loops, and then we throw in some bows, some more basses, some hurdy-gurdy, and some evolutions, and you just have this ending sound here. And then we fade to black. And I wanted to kind of evoke like a funeral type sound, and I really love like this hurdy-gurdy here really has that. That quality to it, and I really just your standard EQs. More of this stuff was kind of getting lost in the mix, especially with how intense that groove can get on like these on the master fader. So I did some boosts, lots of boosts actually. This one was super boosted. In fact, I bass improved this one with the preset just because it was just getting lost. This bass was like the piano, the choir, and the groove was just completely overpowering it. Because at that point I already had done the compressor, the spreader, and all that stuff. So the quality of the sounds, though, I'm really impressed, because it seems like every time there's a new Albion, you can sit there and say like, oh, well, what else can they do? And yet time and time and time again, the team over at Spitfire Audio just knock it out of the park. Like, Albion 5 was amazing. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this is it. Like we've got the sound, like this really, really amazing natural sound. And then they come out with Neo, and I was like, well, Neo, I have Albion 5. Why do I need Neo? And then Neo just crushed that one too. And they pair together so seamlessly. And then this comes out, and the promo for it leading into the reveal was so unique and creepy, and kind of had like that midsummer feel, that A21 midsummer feel. And it just kind of put a vibe on it. And when they showed it off, I was like, oh my gosh, like all three of these things can be packaged together. In fact, that's my next project, is I'm going to try to write something using just those three libraries, which should be fairly easy to do. Like that's a huge array of instruments and everything. And then at the end here, to tie it all in, we do pretty much an automated fade down. This is pretty basic stuff. Took the fades, brought it on down. Fade into black. Too easy. Right here, I noticed there's like a huge amount. Like as soon as these instruments come in, right here on bar 24, there was like this hard clip on the master out, and I could not figure out why. So I just did like a quick almost a 4 decibel dip right on this groove, because it was pretty much right where like the bass, like the 808 style bass hits. And then just as everything's coming in, it's like it just hits that sweet spot of like, we're going to clip the crap out of everything. So I did this dip here just to kind of lighten it up, just a skosh, get rid of the clip. And finally, let's talk about my master out. Okay, EQ wise, this is pretty much it. Like we freed up space, do some quick boosts. I wanted to kind of make it loud. It wasn't super loud, and especially because the compressor on the groove, I'm using a limiter. I limit the thing at -6, so it's a hard limiter. It squashes it down so it doesn't go over that, and that was helping me out a lot with keeping the loudness down, so I could go into the master and add the loudness. So I used a preset just to keep everything nice and even. And this is how it came out. Some boosts here and some cuts there. And I think it perfectly complements like the subtractive type stuff that I was doing on the individual tracks. And then I also use an adaptive limiter here just to keep everything.
You once told me it's what each of them embodies.
Just to keep everything nice and even. And then we use ozone 8 to do the master. That is my score for Selene Spitfire score. The hashtag Selene promo for Albion Solstice from Spitfire Audio. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun of making it. If you like these kind of breakdowns, let me know. I want to keep doing them. I want to keep trying to diversify and kind of go into some different type of stuff. I want to really ramp up my video production going into the back half of the year. The front half of the year has been pretty lax compared to last year. So I want to do that. If you want more production type stuff, let me know. I would love to talk production. You want to talk instrumentation? You want to do some more writing? Heck, maybe we even dip into Twitch streaming again if y'all remember how that went last year. Yeah, in the meantime, my name is Tyler Walton from Tyler Walton Music. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy, and I hope you are safe. Do take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you next time. Come talk to me. Comment on this. Like it. Don't like it. Let me know what you think about it. If you don't like it, tell me what I can do better. If you do like it, tell me what you want me to keep doing. Hang out with me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I'm there every day at Tyler Walton Music, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.